Jeb Boyd. I'm an attorney in Austin, Texas. I like the progress Texas is out there, engaging people and engaging the issues and coming up with new perspectives and ways to take it on and improve Texas.
It's Friday, June 13th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Mass nationwide public unrest in reaction to aggressive ICE detention tactics amid Donald Trump's mass deportation push. The news of huge ICE apprehension quotas said to be set at 3,000 per day in Texas alone. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott's militaristic reaction to that rise in civic unrest are making national news this Friday on the day before dozens of No Kings protests and rallies that are set to take place across Texas on Saturday, a fraction of the close to 2,000 similar events that will happen all across the United States this weekend. That ICE quota includes all undocumented people, not the so-called worst first plan that so many of Donald Trump's followers have believed, and is why we're seeing ICE agents stalk restaurants and immigration courts rather than actually doing the work of finding those who have broken the law or done anything but work hard, comply with court orders, and try to build a life for their families. National coverage from CBS News, linked in the show notes, focuses on Texas in particular. Reporter Omar Villafranca in San Antonio, including a soundbite from that press conference held by Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem in Los Angeles yesterday, curiously omitting the part of the event that the whole world has been shocked to see. That part where California Senator Alex Padilla was forcibly removed from the room, tackled to the floor, and handcuffed. For context, imagine a hypothetical moment just a year ago, let's say in June of 2024, during the Biden administration, an event at a federal building in Austin, where Biden Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is giving a statement on the situation at the Texas border, let's say. When Senator Ted Cruz rises to ask a question, Mayorkas' DHS security officers grab Cruz, wrestle him through a doorway, shove him to the floor in the hall, and cuff him. Can you imagine the MAGA outrage if something like that were to happen on a Democratic president's watch? That's what progressives and anyone who is alarmed at the way things are going under Donald Trump should feel about that moment in LA yesterday. Absolutely ridiculous and a complete dereliction of journalistic integrity for CBS News to omit that in their coverage of the building crisis. All the more reason to support public and independent media. By the way, a vote in the U.S. House yesterday to claw back millions of dollars in public media funding passed by 2 votes, 214 to 212. The Democratic delegation united against, which is good to see, but still down 3 votes due to vacancies resulting from the deaths of older House Dems, including Houston's Sylvester Turner. But while we're celebrating Democratic unity, let's not forget to note that Texas Congressman Vicente Gonzalez of South Texas is among the Democrats taking heat today for voting in favor of a recent bill expressing gratitude to those ICE agents currently terrorizing Latino communities across the country. He was one of 75 congressional Democrats who voted in favor, but the only one from Texas. Back to the Lone Star State on the morning before. John Moritz at the Austin American-Statesman says Governor Greg Abbott announced yesterday he's ordered a surge, his words, of thousands of National Guard soldiers and Texas DPS troopers across the state in anticipation of Saturday's No Kings events. In Austin, Mayor Kirk Watson criticized the move as unnecessary and politically motivated, expressing confidence in the city's ability to protest peacefully and underscoring the importance of protecting the right to assemble without worsening fear among vulnerable communities. Watson says, quote, "I want you to know that was not my decision or anyone's at the city, nor do we think it's necessary. We should not play into these politics of fear. I don't believe that we should militarize the streets of the capital city of the state of Texas. I think it sends a very poor message about the state of Texas. It chills peaceful, constitutional, protected activity," unquote. And you ask me, here in the capital city, what we're talking about here is getting close to a situation that looks and feels like an occupation. Let's see if all these National Guard members stand down and go home on Sunday. The Dallas Morning News says Abbott's surge includes a detachment of DPS special agents and Texas Rangers. DFW will see a whole bunch of protest events all over the Metroplex on Saturday, including Dallas, Frisco, McKinney, Denton, Arlington, Fort Worth, Flower Mound, and more. Victor Jacobo at KHOU-TV in Houston says Harris County is active as well, with a protest and rally against ICE action set to take place tonight, actually, Friday, outside the Core Civic Houston Processing Center. and its own collection of No Kings rallies on Saturday, including Houston, Conroe, Katy, Sugar Land, League City, Kingwood, and more. Houston Public Media says Mayor John Whitmire has dismissed a letter from Republican Congressman and potential John Cornyn challenger Wesley Hunt, in which Hunt claimed that hundreds of riots are planned for Saturday. Whitmire calls that fiction, saying Hunt's letter, quote, was not speaking to the city we live in. It's just not relevant to our city and our society, unquote. Elaine Ayala, in an op-ed in the San Antonio Express News, celebrates that city's reputation for peaceful celebration. For example, after a big Spurs win, when other cities might see sports fans flipping and burning cars, in San Antonio, it's a big gathering of motorists honking their horns in solidarity and joy. As she writes, quote, mucho joy and no drama, no violence, no arrests. Though there are many fine people among the law enforcement officers gathering in San Antonio, they're here as part of the president's attack on democracy, the freedom to assemble, and the constitutional right to due process. They're being drawn into the work of ICE, who have arrested, detained, and deported immigrants without due process. It's inhumane work to tear families apart, to zip tie their children's hands, to arrive at schools, Home Depot parking lots, and even immigration courts, where immigrants are trying to use the established process to remain in the United States lawfully. That's what these protests are about. While the majority of protesters will be peaceful, it takes just one hothead protester or one hothead officer to change that. I pray that San Antonio's protest will reflect who we really are, peaceful and respectful, but serious in the face of such authoritarianism. I hope a contingent of mariachis and their trajes show up to offer a flower to a member of the Texas National Guard, and that he's willing to take it, unquote. By the next Daily Dispatch on Monday, the events of this weekend will have unfolded, and Progress Texas will be here reporting. I'll be covering the No Kings rally at the Texas State Capitol in Austin on Saturday, and I understand we're in for quite an event designed for fun in the face of fascism. I want you, dear listener, to turn out as well if you feel safe, and once you're there, be part of the peace. Don't be provoked by anyone, whether they're in combat gear or carrying a megaphone. Take care of yourself and those around you. This is a huge moment for all of us, and we got to do it right. Stay safe and stay strong. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, which is funded by oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups, all while fact-based independent media outlets, as we've talked about this morning, increasingly face threats to their funding. While access to those outlets is frequently free, as it is here at Progress Texas, it takes listener support to keep fact-based independent media going. And if you've come to appreciate what we do at Progress Texas, now more than ever, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Holly Taylor, Eldo Bergman, and Scott Poorman, all three of whom are on the team. We appreciate all of you very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Friday, June 13th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. Again, stay safe. We will see you again on Monday morning.